Okay, and I'll start a little slideshow. Okay, so we're all here for the Valencia Road Kolb Houghton project. So let's just start off with some introductions, your name, pronouns, and your role in the project. I'll go first, and then maybe I'll just go down the line here. I think most people probably know each other though. Will Win Reyes, he, him pronouns. I'm the public art project manager for the Art Foundation. Bob?
Yeah, my name's Bob Roggentine. I'm the project manager for Valencia Road reconstruction from Kolb to Houghton. And I am a non-voting member. Arturo, as he'll introduce himself here in a minute, he will be our city representative. And but we'll be working closely together. Go ahead.
Thanks, Bob. Doug, you want to introduce yourself?
Sure, Doug Hanna, he, him. I'm a resident in the area, and my role will be a community member.
Excellent, excellent. Teresa Smith? Or, thank you.
Sorry, I couldn't unmute. Hi, Teresa Smith, she, her. I'm the Chief of Staff for the Ward 4 Council Office of Nikki Lee. I am also a non-voting member, so I'm just here to participate in the project. Thanks so much.
Great, thank you. Deborah? Oh, you're muted. Still muted. Aha. No, wait.
Not hearing
Still
Deborah.
Still can't hear you. That's strange. But you were unmuted.
Muted
No,
again.
now you're muted again. So maybe it's volume or on the computer itself. Uh-oh.
We come back to Deborah.
Yeah, we'll come back in the worst case scenario. We'll use the chat feature. Wait. No. Kevin Thornton.
I'm Kevin Thornton. I'm with SOMIS, he, him. I am the design team project manager.
Excellent. Arturo.
Good afternoon, Arturo Ledesma, he, him. I'm with the city of Tucson, also an engineering project manager and Bob's right-hand man on this project, and I will be the city voting member.
Great. And forgive me if I'm pronouncing this wrong, Dominique.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah,
Perfectly.
so my name's Carla Dominici-Newton.
Okay, sorry.
It's okay. I'm an art teacher at Rincon Vista Middle School and working artist, and I live in the Rita Ranch neighborhood. So does that make me a public, I don't know.
I believe you are also a community member.
Oh, okay.
Or in a class.
Okay.
Monica.
Hi, I'm Monica Kemsley. I live and work in Rita Ranch, and I also do art for fun. I'm a community member, and she, her pronouns.
Excellent. Okay, thanks. So sorry about that. I pulled up my notes, so I'll have everyone's full name here because I believe next is just a phone number, and I don't know who is joining us. 520. Yeah, yeah, sure.
Sandy Wyris.
Oh, hi. How are you? Welcome.
I'm fine. I'm one of the neighborhood association people for Rita Ranch Neighborhood Association.
Excellent. Great to have you on board. So I believe that's everyone.
You missed
I'm
me.
going to go back to, oh.
Ann Lopez.
Oh, Anne. Hi. Oh, there you are.
Hi.
Sorry. And Lopez, yes, you're our
Ward
ward
4 rep.
representative. Yes, welcome. Continue. Sorry, Mike.
That's it.
Okay. And Debbie, are we still having audio? Yeah, it looks like it. Okay, if you'd like, you can add it to the chat. I have you listed here as a community member. And yeah, so we're just orientation. So luckily won't need to do a lot of talking. So if you want to, at your leisure, add to the chat, but it's not necessary. Okay, so Arts Foundation, we're a 501c3 nonprofit local arts agency. We serve Tucson, Pima County, and also Southern Arizona. And I'll just read through forward-thinking accountability leadership. We work to effect systematic change that fosters an accessible, diverse, inclusive, and equitable arts community. We are on a mission to advance artistic expression, civic participation, and equitable economic growth of our diverse community by supporting, promoting, and advocating for arts and culture in our region. Some of you may know Mel Dominguez, well-known artist, muralist here in Tucson, also a member of our PAC-T. So other things we do direct funding for artists. We do other types of public art commissions, but they're typically donations to the city and or county. We host a podcast where we celebrate artists. We have open studio tours once a year, and we are moving into some more professional training programs that can take emerging artists or folks interested in art to next stages. And if they are so interested, hopefully into public art with some programming. And we're starting to open up a cultural directory, which will be on our new website, in which anyone interested in arts or hiring an artist, they can come to our website and be able to see and find local artists, what they work on, bios, all those sorts of things. So speaking of which, this is a little snapshot of our website that's not up. It's going to be up soon, but this is our public art map that is opening up that will help you see where all the public art 1% projects are. But also at the bottom, you can see there's little pictures of the artwork, including the artist and more information. So it's good if you want to try to see what's in your neighborhood. So we are contracted with the city of Tucson and Pima County separately to manage each of their 1% art programs. And the 1% means that it's 1% of capital improvements allocated to public art, specifically in the project neighborhood. And we manage over 300 artworks in the city and county combined. There are many more public artworks, but they're not Capital One projects, so they're not listed here. Most of them are private, but a lot of the same artists. So your role as a panelist. A panel is assembled for every art project. There's usually 7+, depending on the scale and scope of the project and public interest. I believe we have 9 on this one. And as community stakeholders and leaders, community members, school representatives, artists, art professionals, project design team representatives, and also city project manager, of course. And myself, but I facilitate, I don't vote. Yes, oops, sorry, jumped it there. And everyone's Tucson or Southern Arizona, and specifically, with community members, we aim to get folks that are in the wards. So how it works is the panel evaluates project applications, both to determine what artist or artist-led team to recommend to the city for public art commission. And then also the panel will review the selected artist designs to ensure that the artwork appropriately represents the community's culture and follows best practices in public art. So it's essentially in two phases. One's called art selection, one's called design phase. And the art selection phase, which we're about to enter to, is where you will review all the applications online through a submittal portal. Don't worry, you'll have all the instructions sent to you, because it's a lot easier to do than just me telling you how they are. I do believe there's 72 applications, but we will go through a technical review first, where so if sometimes folks that don't complete the application fully, or their intention is not necessarily to get the bid, we put those through a process. So the first panel meeting, both of them are around up to 3 hours long, and all of the applications that you've reviewed online will have a scoring system that you'll fill out, and then a percentage of that system, a top percentile, will review in person, or not in person, or through Zoom, depending on COVID restrictions, and narrow that down to 3 finalists. Then the next meeting, those 3 finalists will provide a presentation based off of cues and a Q&A, in which you can directly interview each artist. Following that, after that portion, they'll have left, and then the panel will decide on one artist to move forward. We'll select those. We'll get to those dates soon, but I want to make sure that we have enough time that everyone has them, and this project has been held back, so I'd like to make sure that we're all able to attend. So the artwork design process, after the artist is selected, there's some time it takes for approvals through the county or the city, the ward office, and our board, and PAC-D, which is a overarching committee that ensures the process is being followed correctly. Once artist is in contract at that point, then we enter to the design phase. And this is where there's more, the meetings aren't as specific, but all decisions about the design specifically of the artwork requires all of the panel, or as many of the panel, to be involved. And this is where the artist needs or gains information about the community, and where you community members will come in really great, because you can talk about the culture and interests of your fellow community members. And our professionals and design team will work with making sure that the art is safe and aligns aesthetically with the overarching project. Optionally, that's really up to the panel. We can coordinate meet the artist, where at a place, either Zoom or in person, the community at large can come meet the artist, talk about, share some stories, and provide more input to them that way. And after that, the artist will start with concepts, typically 3 concepts. Then they'll present them to you for feedback to narrow it down to one concept. If needed, there can be another public engagement meeting. If not, then we can move that into design, goes through another process which takes time, and then fabrication, installation, and in some cases, we will have a celebrating event. So this project is largely widening Valencia Road, and my information might be out of date. So Arturo or Bob, if you have more, please let me know. Widening Valencia Road, 6 lanes, with the median traffic signals at Oroville and Nexus Road, and I believe a Florida T, which maybe I'll let someone else describe that in a moment. Bicycle, ADA compliant pedestrian facilities, dark sky compliant road lighting, and then of course, public art. Arturo, is there any new information that we should know, or does that pretty much cover it?
That does pretty much cover the high points of the project, Wilwin. Thank you.
And the public art component, the maximum budget's 183,412, and that's for everything. It's the artist. It's our responsibility to budget that work to include every aspect of it: hiring laborers, putting the foundation. In this case, probably a foundation. If there's a lighting, that probably needs to be discussed earlier. But otherwise, it's all on the artist. That's why the budget, it said what it is ahead of time, so they can factor all those costs in, including rising costs, which is something when we get into design, really reminding the artists that, like, if things are being delayed, to rethink the scope of their budget, to have space, because it oftentimes, especially we've noticed of late, is projects are getting the cost of materials is essentially too high. I think everyone understands how that works. So the spring 2023, is that still a construction start, Arturo? Do you know?
I think spring is more of the bid.
Okay.
The bid timing.
Okay.
Construction probably will be until late. We would have a contractor probably on board, hopefully summer timeframe of next year, and then have to account for a few months for their mobilization.
Great. That actually that works in favor for us, because that gives the artist more time during the design to have flexibility. Because of the scope of this work, it's likely that the artwork is going to be a freestanding street side work. As the artist chooses, it's up to them. But as we've looked at the map, there's really no space for integration. And thanks to Lori and the team, we have this poll that works out in our favor, because it seems like freestanding sculptures are what folks are into. And this is our very rough open timeline. So we're right now in the middle, panel deliberations. It does take a few months to do all the panel meetings. We usually give you like 2 or 3 weeks for reviewing the applications. Then we'll have that first meeting. Then about another 2 weeks for the second meeting to give the artists time to prepare their presentations. And then after you select the artist, it does take a few months to get those approvals in play. So at that point, with a little bit of buffer time, we should be announcing the selected artist in January of next year. And then spring, they should be in contract with the city by then, and then start in spring. Yeah, so it typically takes about a year that I've noticed so far. These projects take for artists, especially freestanding ones, but who knows? It might not take actually that long. So one process we're doing a little bit different is, instead of trying to overload you with all of this information over a Zoom meeting, you'll have it written so you can look at it and think about it and refer back to it. And that's going to be in a form of a packet. The packet's going to have the panelist handbook. Some of you may be familiar with that. It's just a very thorough description of the process and how to conduct your next steps. There'll be a conflict of interest form that'll include the name of the 72 applicants, names of 72 applicants. So if you do know them, you should let us know so we can discuss if there's going to be any potential of conflict. And we'll have to, and basically, essentially, you just wouldn't vote on that person. And then a panelist agreement form, which will have standard agreements, including like when you select the artist, there's going to be some time before it's public. That stays with us. So I'll send that out next week. And quick. So this is the last page. Feel free to screenshot or write down. The number I put is a cell phone number I have for the organization. It's not the landline, so I will return faster, and text is definitely the fastest way to get a hold of me. So if you have any questions or if things are slowing down or any comments, let me know right away, and I'll do my best to attend to it. Does anybody have any questions for me now?
I do. This is Ann
Great.
Lopez, Ward 4.
Hi, Ann.
Hi. Can you give us an idea of where you're planning to put this in that space between Kolb and Houghton?
That's something that will be discussed with you and the artist.
Oh, okay.
And excuse me.
Yes,
I think we've kind of solved that problem where we would like to put it, unless someone objects.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, what's happening at right around the Vale Christian Church? There's a dirt parking area that's not official, but a lot of people park there and they get off their bikes to ride, and that will be going away with the widening of the project. But we're making arrangements to build a parking lot on the west side of the Vale Christian Church. And so we would like to try and fit it in so that people could stop and park there, look at the art, and then ride on the, that's the Harrison Greenway facility. And so that's kind of, we're making arrangements for that as we speak.
Oh, that's great. So,
Thank you.
Thanks for the question. And I do have another question then. This is actually good news because it does make it easier. If that's already included in the construction, do you know if there's going to be possibility for putting lines in for lighting in that area if they were to?
That would take, if you wanted to put in type of a mural, then the murals would be out because you would only be doing something standing.
It's also way off.
And it's way off of the road. Is that correct?
Yes, correct. There's no options for murals without the artist building some sort of substrate to paint on. So it's likely, and because of the nature or the location of this project, where folks will be driving by a lot pretty quickly, large sculptures seem to fare best.
Okay.
Will there only be one art area, or could the artists do multiple art locations along the stretch of road?
That's a great question. So that's entirely up to the artist and all of your guidance. So with that budget, there could be more smaller ones instead of one big thing. It's a pretty good budget. So there are options, and that's something that can happen during the design phase.
I don't remember it.
I do have another question. So I assume that the process for the stony ponies that are on Houghton in between Reeder Road and Old Vale was the same kind of process. Is that correct?
Yes, it should be the same.
And so you said that the budget for this one is like $183,000. What was the budget, just so I have like an idea, like approximately for the one on Houghton?
Oh, I would have to look it up. That was also.
Kevin, do you remember the construction estimate for Houghton?
I don't remember. I could probably find it out here. I'll see what I can find out, but I don't have that number offhand.
Okay,
But to answer Wilman's question from earlier, there is street lighting along the entire corridor. So we should be able
Excellent.
to provide a drop for lighting at the art installation.
That's great. I'm looking at Stone Ponies now, and the budget was, just kidding, it's not that easy.
I guess I'm mostly just curious if it's similar or significantly
Right.
higher.
Right. And it also depends. I know that 144, so not that different. I know that those they aren't rocks, but the blue glass chunks were also considered like a good part of that cost.
how much did you say it was?
144,
Okay,
so a little bit
This
more
is
than that.
Al Wyroot.
Hi, Al.
I just wanted to, can everybody, can you send out an email giving us what you showed? There was a bar code, talked about what you would like to see as art, and you flashed by it so fast, I don't know if anybody else had a chance to read it. And so if you could send that out, it might be nice for people to see what you're talking about.
Yeah, absolutely. I'll send a follow-up email to everyone here with that information, and also with the next steps and then my information as well, just so it doesn't get lost. And
Thank you.
yeah, I think there's a couple other things I was sent that were public feedback that I'll add to that as well.
yeah, that barcode depicts the results of a poll that we sent out to people in the neighborhood. And we had a very big turnout for that poll. And it was really more for freestanding art. It seemed to be leaning that way.
That's why I'm telling you to look at it. Could you also split this thing? You want to ask that question? Everybody's on.
Do we
I
have
just
any-
wanted to ask a quick question since
Sure.
Teresa with the Ward 4 office.
Teresa, hi.
Hi. Not the one when we did the Stone Ponies. In fact, two of the members, Anne and Sandy, were both on that panel before. Carla, were you on that panel as well? Yep, and Carla.
Oh, wow.
And so I think that panel, correct me if I'm wrong, team, but I felt that went really, really well. And that was kind of the gold star of how we want to conduct it and have the outreach with the residents. The next one with the next phase of a Houghton, we had to kind of bring back on track. And so I think we're going in the right direction now. But one of the things that happened early on was during the process, the technical process, or even just the dialogue amongst the team, there was a feeling of some, not the panel, not our panel, but some of your guys' team on the technical side, that they wanted different artists than who have been selected before. And so, to be frankly honest, Simon Donovan, they really didn't want to award another project to him because he did the 2 horses. And I want to make sure that this panel, that's not that was a big concern from the residents out here, that direction was told representing the neighborhood that wasn't what the neighborhood wanted. And so we just want to make sure that when you're doing your technical review process, you're not looking at people who've been selected before. It's just clearly you're looking at technical specifications, and then the panel and the committee can decide what's best for the residents.
Yeah,
Thank you.
absolutely. So what I'll also do in the next email is I'm trying to form this out now because we weren't doing it before, was show it like what our criteria is in very clear language. I'm working with a consultant now on that. So I'll add that too, to make sure, what we want to do going forward especially is ensure that transparency is clear, and that Arts Foundation, we just administer the program. We don't vote, we don't try to lead anybody anyway, and that's the intention at least. So yeah, I'll add that as well, and definitely Hi. Carla.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
So I thought my understanding was that it wasn't the stone, or the horses up on 22nd, but it was the cocoon that's down here by Drexel that people didn't like.
Oh, for clarification, no, you are correct. The community loves both of the horses. Simon Donovan did both of the, and Ben, they did both of the horse projects. And then the next phase after that, you're correct, the community does not care for the cocoon, but that was, you know, that was actually before my time here. So that was 10 years ago or whatever. But the one after the stone ponies was the mural that's gonna, it's not up yet. It's the phase between Irvington to 22nd Street. So it's
over the
there's,
bridge, over the
yeah,
bridge.
there's a mural and freestanding sculptures there.
Where?
So we had,
Where?
they're not there yet. They are in the process. So the artist was already selected. There was additional public meetings.
But where are they gonna go in?
Oh, did you want me to answer, or would you guys
that
prefer
okay?
to answer? Yeah, there's going to be a mural that's going to go on the, when you're heading north on Houghton, kind of by the stables on that wall. So there'll be where the bridge is, you know,
Oh, yeah, okay.
near Oz, yeah, down there on the bridge. And so there'll be a mural sort of design. You guys know this stuff better than me. So if you're cringing by my descriptions, please someone save me. And then there's going to be a freestanding sculpture near Houghton and Escalante. I think the other one got removed. Someone correct me if I'm wrong, because of budget. Kevin, you may remember. Thank you, Kevin, for saying.
I believe that there are still 2 freestanding sculptures by the bridge. I haven't had any conversations with the artist recently, but I think there are 3, the one by Escalante and then 2 by the bridge. And then the form liner on the retaining wall that you mentioned.
Thank you for that.
Thank you.
Yeah, I appreciate that. And also moving forward, you know, a lot of these projects are new to me. That sounds like you're working on. I'd love as much input as possible. Great. Well, thank you. I'll send you all an email after this, and then following up with the panelist packet. And I appreciate everyone taking the time to meet with me here.
When are you going to do? When are you going to do your next meeting?
The next meeting.
Yes.
So I'm going to send out the packet, and the packet will have information with some more guidelines of, because it's the soonest would still be maybe a month out, but in the packet I'll describe that I'll be sending a poll. So you will go through you'll read through the packet, then start the process, and you'll have a week or so to fill out, to review the initial applications. And then at that same time, around that same time, I'll send a calendar poll out with a few different dates, probably just in 1 week to make sure that everyone can go. And then that'll be the first design meeting date where you select 3 finalists. But I would shoot for about a month from now, but before the holidays.
Okay, thank you.
No problem.
Great. Teresa, I just read your email. Is this a public meeting and should be a public meeting? Is that what you're saying?
This meeting right now?
It was a question to you guys. I'm not sure if these are classified as public meetings, and if so, we need to make sure that the link is posted. This one was obviously a training, but for the next one, if we're starting to consider applicants, or even for your technical review, someone just needs to double check. In the past, we've had the meetings like posted on that there's a website link for the page, or for the project. I mean, I think the Arts Foundation
page
created it.
on the Arts Foundation page, or okay, really? Okay.
Well, you had sent something and I clicked the link because I was looking for the link to this meeting because I didn't get it in an email. And so I thought, well, it would be posted there. And so, sorry, guys, I sent that email to you guys, the city folks, because I wasn't sure if it's a public meeting or not. And if it is, we need to make sure that it's posted.
You bet. And we'll check on that here right after
Yeah.
this meeting.
It
Not a
may
problem.
not be because it's run by the Arts Foundation.
They are.
They are, okay.
They're
They need
open
be
to the
posted.
public. Yeah, they're open to the
Yeah.
public.
Yeah.
All of the panel meetings are.
Okay, so we need to make sure those are posted. If you don't have a home for them, we can put them on our Ward 4 website just to make sure that we're following
Oh,
open meeting
interesting.
law. Yeah, whatever you guys
Absolutely.
need.
Great. Yeah.
Okay.
Maybe I'll send a separate email out to Bob and Teresa,
And
and then we
Lori.
can coordinate, and Lori, of course, to
Yeah.
coordinate to make sure that that link for the next few meetings or all the meetings are housed somewhere, and then they're up to date so anyone can join.
You bet.
Great.
And
Thank you
Bob
for
and
that.
Erica in the past has made special art pages for us. So on the city's website. So if you want, I could beg and plead.
Yeah, no, we'll get with Erica and Amanda with our public relations group, and we'll work this out. Not a problem.
Thanks so
Excellent.
much.
Great. Well, thanks everyone. I will see you next time, and please email me, text me, whatever.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank
And it's a pleasure to
you.
meet you all.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you all.
Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hit that button.